Hello, Harry. How are we today?
Yeah, very good, thank you. It's been an exciting day.
Yeah, it's been a great day, and also I love the performances earlier today. What drew you to want to be a part of High School Musical, the theatre production?
Oh, I just felt like it made sense, the role of Coach Bolton. And, you know, it's 20 years since the film. McFly's been going for over 20 years. I felt like there's a nice crossover with the fan base. And my daughter loves High School Musical, so...
I did hear she was really excited when you were becoming a part of it.
So excited, honestly.
Obviously, you have done American stuff as well, like Just My Luck.
Yeah.
What was it like working on that quickly?
Yeah, that was just crazy. Like, I mean, it's like over 20 years ago. But yeah, it was, I think, I feel just so lucky to have just done all these crazy things that you can look back on and talk about with your bandmates or families and friends. And so, yeah, this is another one of those things.
When it comes to having the American accent, does it come quite naturally for you, or do you have a dialect coach?
Yeah, I had a session with a dialect coach. I think I've always enjoyed doing like impressions and like accents and stuff, and thankfully it seemed to come relatively naturally. I did a read through with the director on day one, and he was like, "Oh, you got it." I was like, "Oh, phew, okay, that's good." Yeah, I've always been a bit like that, you know. I was in Scotland this week, and I was enjoying trying to do the Scottish accent.
When it also comes to this show as well, when it came to the films, I heard the dance routines, they can't be the same as the films. Do you reckon that is challenging for everyone a part of the production to learn completely new routines, or do you reckon it's just been because it's quite fresh for people as a production itself?
Yeah, I think it adds a fresh element to it. I mean, you know, you could suggest maybe it's a shame that some of the kind of iconic dance moves won't be involved, but we've got an amazing choreographer in Aaron Renfrey, and as you would have seen today, there's some really cool like choreography, and you know, like to me, it doesn't matter. Like it's an opportunity to learn new stuff, to interpret things in a different way, and the cast are incredible. Like they learn it so quickly.
Am I right? This is your first stage production?
I've done. I did a dancing show at the Garrick called Rip It Up in like 2018. This is the first time I've done. I mean, there was a bit of acting in that, but very limited. I was mainly just dancing. So this is the first time I've just done acting. Yeah.
This could be a bit of a rogue question, but what's more challenging, being on a tour for arena tours, stadium tours, or doing theatre?
Do you know what? I think theatre, because you're doing 8 shows a week. It's so professional. You know, when you're in a band, you're in charge. You're not in charge. There's a massive team of people you have to listen to as well. But you can you stay in nice hotels. You know, like it's an absolute like pleasure to be in a band. I literally cannot complain about touring. But being on stage in the West End, like I did in 2018, I think it was, it's really hard. Like 8 shows a week is no joke. You have to love it. You've got to love it. And I think, you know, it's like I said, you're there to do a job. People like being in a band, but you can kind of play with it a bit of being in a band. But you've got to do the show as you're set to do it, and it's relentless. I have an unbelievable amount of respect for like West End theatre performers. You know, my daughter was in Les Mis recently, so I watched that quite a few times. And watching these performers in Les Mis, it's a long show, it's a very emotional show, and to go out there and they just pour their hearts out every single night, sometimes twice a day. Honestly, it's incredible.
What was it like watching your daughter in Les Mis, which is incredible?
Yeah. Oh, it's mad. Yeah, very nerve-wracking. It never got easier.
How does one stay healthy if you're with intense days like that? And especially also when in a band as well, going on tour around the world. How do you stay healthy for people that want to get into this industry?
Well, it's really boring, but the most important thing is just for me, and I'd say for most people, is sleep. Make sure you get your sleep. You know, being a performer is a privilege. It's a lot of fun, and you get this kind of natural high, and it can be quite hard to come down. And you know that constant up and down can be quite challenging for some people. So I think you've got to be very wary of that coming into it. And yeah, for me now, and in my experienced years of doing this, is just making sure I'm not too tired.
And if you could put one McFly song into this High School Musical production, what song would it be?
Ooh. good.
And vice versa with High School Musical onto a McFly album.
I think I put an early McFly song in there. I think probably something like That Girl, I think. So it's kind of like, I can imagine, you know, Troy singing that with all his like jock mates around him, singing all the backing vocals and stuff. And I think maybe All in This Together is my favourite song, so we can do a cover of that.
And then lastly, what else can we expect from you after this production?
Gosh, I don't know yet. I only knew about this about 2 months ago, so that's what's kind of exciting about what I do. So we've got a new album. We're making a new album at the moment, so that's always very exciting. So we've started recording that. So that's the next thing.
Mate, thank you so much for your time, and enjoy the rest of the rehearsal.
Well, man, thank you.